Let's bring in Tom Fuentes. He's a former FBI assistant director. So, Tom, what is the Biden administration's strategy with the cartels?
Well, Jesse, it doesn't appear that they have one. Or if they have, they've failed to articulate it in any kind of sensible manner that sounds like it's going to be sensible. If they're going to have a strategy, it's going to have to start with closing the border. That's number one. And until they do that, they're not serious about any of this. So the idea is that suddenly we're going to be able to unleash the U.S. military in Mexico. That was actually done 100 years ago to go after Pancho Villa. General Jack Pershing and a contingent from Fort Bliss were sent to track him down after he and his people shot up on New Mexico City and killed U.S. soldiers and American citizens. Now, they spent 18 months in Mexico trying to chase him in the mountains unsuccessfully. And then the president, Woodrow Wilson, brought them back to send them to France for World War I. So that expedition failed, and it's not too popular to this day with the Mexicans that knew we did that. Now, the problem also with, we've had officials saying that we can go after them like we did ISIS. Well, the advantage with ISIS and Al-Qaeda was much of their resources were out in the middle of the desert. They were isolated from major cities. So there was minimal collateral damage to bomb them, rocket them, send the military after them. These cartel members are living in cities. They're living amongst the people of Mexico. To surgically remove them using the military would be quite a challenge to do.
And probably some of them are staying at some of these resorts that some of these spring breakers are staying at. Would you send your daughters or sons to spring break in Mexico in 2023?
No, absolutely not. The problem with these self-contained resorts, and they have all kinds of security and protection and everything, but you have to get to the resort. And so the danger is getting off the plane or the bus or the train and getting from the transportation hub to the actual resort, which there you have protection. En route, you're in danger, just like these Americans that were killed in Matamoros, because once they crossed the border, they were on their own. Now, they might have gone on their way to a medical facility that had security guards or any of that. We don't know for sure. But
so Tom, you're telling me
once they crossed the border, they were on their own.
You're telling me, so let's just say the college spring breakers, they land at the airport and they have transportation arranged maybe through the hotel, or they just go outside with their bags and flag down any taxi driver they can see. And let's say it's a 10, 15, 20, 30-minute ride to the resort. What kind of risk factor are you looking at in a ride like that?
Well, basically, it would be like playing golf in a very heavy lightning storm. Not everybody's going to get killed, but somebody's going to. And you want it to be you. So that would be the problem with that, is that as the traveler, you're taking a chance that it might be you. And if it's going to be you, there's going to be very little anybody's going to do about it, especially if you go to a place like Cancun in the far south east end of Mexico in the Yucatan. That's a whole different story. That's nowhere near the United States border, and U.S. resources are a long way from being able to do anything to rescue you or anything else down there.
So what if they target some rich daughter of some banker here in Manhattan, and they pick her up on the ride to the resort? You're looking at a hostage situation? What kind of money are they looking at here?
Oh, well, it could be a lot of money. I was going to add, when I ran FBI international operations my last 5 years and was in charge of all the offices around the world, including the half a dozen that we had in Mexico, we had in 2007, 2008, in that time frame, we were averaging about 300 cases a year of Americans that had gone into Mexico and at that time were taken hostage for ransom. Now, in some of those cases, the cartel members wanted $1 million to pay off, to free the Americans, and then later said, okay, we'll take 10,000. Well, that's wonderful. They negotiated it down to 10,000. But in a number of those cases, the people paid the 10,000 and were killed anyway.
Oh.
So it was no guarantee. Paying the ransom was no guarantee that you would survive the incident.
And when the cartel says, don't get the FBI involved, are the parents supposed to get the FBI involved?
Well, at that point, there's not a lot the FBI is going to be able to do because they're on foreign soil. So they have to have the permission of the Mexican authorities and get the Mexicans to work with them to go after these guys.
Pay the money,
that's where
get it down to 10 grand, and Just hold your breath. Everybody makes it home alive. All right. Very,
Yeah, and hold your
very,
breath.
very
Exactly right.
informative. Tom, thank you very much. We appreciate you joining us.
Thank you, Jesse.